I recently had an opportunity to work in mixed media. I responded to a call to make art from detritus, cast-off materials, garbage. Ended up being pretty productive. I made some nice work. I had just completed a demolition, so I had plenty of stuff to pick through. This has pretty nice texture. Very often, if you're looking, you can see shapes or forms or textures that lend themselves. And I'm seeing something here. So I keep moving these around until I settle on something. And right now I'm seeing like ocean waves or mountains retreating into the distance. I'm reminded of those classical Japanese paintings, and it inspires me to use it for one of my bonsai pieces. After finalizing the background, I started working on the tree. The elements were straightforward enough, but they were tiny, so it was a challenge to work on. I was able to employ my signature zigzag miter motif onto the leaves. Most of my sculptural work is variations on the theme of this miter angle approach. Here I needed to improvise a tiny press break. I used the drill press with a chisel and a hinge. So this piece was quite successful. It has the layering and depth. It really reads. For this next piece, I started with a asbestos shingle. Kind of crude to work with and maybe a little dangerous if you consider the asbestos. But I sealed it up okay, so it wasn't an issue. For this one, I knew I wanted to make some kind of forced perspective, miniature diorama kind of thing. And I wanted it to include a sculptural element. I made this model to go into the scene. I kept it simple. Next was to reproduce it larger and made in perspective to go into the scene. I started using bamboo skewers. I found that I could keep the X and the Y axis the same, but the Z axis, the depth, I made shorter. Mostly I eyeball it. It's kind of crude, but it reads. Finally, I used the metal from that aluminum gutter to make the final piece. It has the patinaed surface I like. It has character. Finally, before putting that into position, I needed to start drawing some details. I wanted it to appear as if it was in a gallery space. One of those loft situations with the exposed masonry walls and the like. So for this one, I used that piece of gutter to make a frame, and then the board to paint on. It's got a noir tone. It's my first bit of painting. Finally, there's this guy. I wanted to make a tall, towering kind of totem piece. You can recognize most of the materials here. I used the fluorescent light fixture cover for the clear bit on the top. And I got this gold leaf kind of effect from soup cans. Alright, I'm going to end this thing with a little time-lapse photography. It's a 2-hour exposure. Lasts about a minute. Kind of interesting. Thanks for watching.